And listen, I know that change is so hard. It's so hard to make changes, but sometimes the changes that we make when we are faced with no alternative, or at least no good alternative, when the only alternative or the only way forward is to change. I remember for me, that was when I came back home from my cancer treatment. I was away for like weeks and weeks, and I was doing chemo, and it was like surgery, and I eventually came back. And I don't know what happened, but I was home on my own, and it felt so good. It felt so good to just come into my home and to just see my stuff and know that I don't have to go back on the drip. And I just wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy my time back. So I made myself just like this, I brewed myself like a fresh pot of coffee, which I love. I'm a coffee fanatic. I got this book that was waiting for me in the mail. It was like the next book in a series that I was super into in the hospital. And so I was going to enjoy it. And I came outside, and right here where we live, like we have this kind of backyard, and there's a swing bench over there, right? And this swing bench is probably like, I don't know, just like a stone's throw away from the deck. And so I had my coffee in one hand, I've got my book in the other hand, and I'm going down, I thought, it's a beautiful day, I'm gonna sit down there, I'm gonna sit on the swing bench, and just gonna enjoy being back home, And then this weird thing happens. I'm stepping kind of off the deck, and kind of my head starts spinning. It's like I feel like I'm like all of a sudden I feel so nauseous. I feel just my head is just spinning. I feel like I'm about to like just fall down, and somehow I managed to just navigate my way over to the swing bench and just plonk myself down. And I remember just feeling so weird by it. And I taken a gulp of my coffee, and I nearly just spit it out. I nearly spat it out, right? Because I'm going like, what's wrong? Like this is my homebrew. I know this stuff, And it hit me that this is like my taste bud from the chemo. It's just gone, and just made everything taste like all weird and disgusting and stuff. So I put the coffee down and go, okay, I'm just going to read the book. That's all I can do. I open up the book, I start reading the book, and I look at the words, and it's all a mess. It's all just like a jumble of words, and none of it makes sense. And it's just, my mind is just this tangled kind of mess. And I put the book down, and I felt so defeated. I was just sitting there, just my head in my hands, and I'm going, what's wrong with me? I'm a mess. How am I going to live my life? I'm going to go work. I'm going to be there for my family. I can't do anything. I'm all over the place. I can't live like this. I didn't go through all of this crazy treatment just so I could be freaking miserable. I thought, maybe, other people go through this. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to figure out what else is out there. What can I do? Maybe there's something that I can do to kind of get my life back. Because isn't that what I was going through all of this for? To have my life back, And making that decision to go and change, that made all the difference. Now, the change was kind of forced upon me. wasn't it? Because I wasn't in a great way, I was a mess. I was scared that this cancer could come back because every, 2 months and then 3 months, and I was getting all of these checkups to see whether it would come back. Mentally, I was a mess. Physically, I was feeling awful. I also put on all this weight from all this, steroids and meds from managing my side effects, and I had no idea what to do. And frankly, I was also feeling alone and miserable because I felt like other people don't get what I'm going through, and my friends were gone, and all this other stuff. And that's how I started, frankly speaking, Simplify Cancer podcast, to try and get answers for me, because I thought, well, I'm sure other people go through this, so hopefully it's going to help me. Hopefully it's going to help other people. And so I started interviewing, experts in oncology and psycho-oncology, and helping people recover from dealing with cancer, and also other survivors, people who've been through cancer themselves and their loved ones, to try to figure out how can we live better with cancer or beyond cancer, right? And that's made me feel good, because I was trying and doing all of the stuff that people were talking about. I was looking after my body. I was looking after, I was doing exercise. I was working with a dietitian. I was doing all sorts of things to get me back on track, and it was hard work. But I felt I needed it, because I knew that I wanted somewhere deep inside to be happy. And maybe I didn't even know what that would look like. And I didn't realize it would lead to me connecting with so many amazing people along the way, making new friends, working with some incredible organizations together to make a difference, to writing this book, Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in the challenging world of today. And writing this book it's really helped me to find hope in my own way through life, but it also helped me to uncover what was a deeper wound. A deeper wound that I understood once again how much it's been brought up by the war in Ukraine. And that's where I'm from. And reading these stories of so many people going through rape and torture and losing their homes, and it brought up my experience of going through rape as a child. And I realized just how much hurt I still had inside me. And this anger and resentment, and just fear, and like the panic attacks, and all of it just started coming back to me, just haunting me, just getting back into my life. And I started to get a sense that this is, as I now see it, like these are all of these like hurtful, awful feelings. They are the symptoms that often go unfelt, unseen, unexplained as an impact of going through trauma. I started to look at my life and seeing just how much it messed me up in my relationships, in times when I couldn't have sex as a teenager or as a young person, of being afraid of relationships, of just my mental health going down the drain, just being alone and just living in fear and living in like just sleepwalking through life. not being able to just take joy in simple things that happen. So much, like decades of my life. Decades. I spent decades just living in, in this kind of world of just sleepwalking through life, because I couldn't even, it wasn't even that I was like living in the past or some kind of imaginary future. I was just trying not to get more hurt, just trying to close myself off. I was just hoping nothing worse would happen, which of course is the opposite of what happens, because these things keep pile up on top of each other, and things do get worse. We know that. Without change, without positive change, things hardly ever get better. And what changed for me was meeting another survivor. That was the big change in my life. Because I started writing the play because I felt something, bubbling up inside of me. And this experience of going through rape as a child, I knew I had to kind of deal with these memories somehow, to bring it out. So I started writing this play, and I wanted to get some feedback on it. And I ended up meeting a survivor, someone who was a survivor of child sexual abuse. And they agreed to read my play. And I didn't even realize that on some level I was seeking to meet someone who's been through it. But I didn't even realize just how much meeting that person would change me. Hearing her story has given me an opportunity to share what's mine, to share like all this hurt and shame that built up on the inside, and let it just it just came out. It came out. I couldn't even stop it. It was just, I don't even know what I was talking about or what I said, but it just came flooding out of me. And she said, she asked me if I've ever done therapy, and I said, I didn't. She said, you're gonna love it, Joe. I gotta say to you, I was totally closed off to it. It wasn't like I jumped into it, but there's a part of me that said, okay, like maybe there's something there. And I started thinking about it. I started doing a bit of research. I started reading books like The Body Keeps the Score. I thought, you know what? I gotta do something. If this person's been through it and it's made her life better, I gotta do that. And every single time in my life where I've had a challenge or a problem, or I was facing with a particular difficult situation, I had no choice but to do something to change. I feel that's our experience in life as survivors, as people who been one way or another touched by trauma. We cannot hold back. We cannot wait. Because we waited so long. Didn't we, my friend? Didn't we wait? We have already waited for so long. I don't know about you. How long have you been waiting to heal? But for me, decades. Decades of my life. And so I just plunged into it. I plunged into what I would now call healing. I found a therapist. It's an amazing therapist, by the way. I started, meeting survivors. I started sharing my story with friends and people around me, which was tough. I couldn't even imagine, like the way I'm talking to you about this right now. I mean, I could not imagine even thinking about it just like a year ago. Just even thinking about, like, even having that word rape in my mind would just trigger me, just set me off, put me in a terrible place. And now I can share my story because I'm not ashamed. What I had to go through, how much I suffered as a result, it's my story. I'm here telling it. And I don't know what you've been through. And your journey is unlike anyone's. And yet, there is so much that we share, that we have in common, of things that we've been through, of suffering, of feeling lost, alone, of feeling scared, of trying to find a way through. We are in this together, my friend. Together. We are in this together. So you gotta trust yourself that you can find your own way to heal, that you can find your own path towards healing in a way that makes sense for you, in a way that feels right for you today, in a way that feels right for you right now. Trust yourself. In this world, for us survivors, trust is a must. Trust yourself. You can do this. You can figure out what's next, because healing is living today. Today. You know? For me, taking it from all the different sides. When I uncovered one of the biggest traumas of my life, and trying to heal from that, it brought up a lot of things. But going through this process makes me feel whole, makes me feel like myself. Not again, because I don't think I've ever felt like this version of myself, but it makes me feel like myself was for whom healing and happiness is a reality today, is a distinct possibility today. I can wake up and feel happy and feel like I'm having fun. I feel like like I can be just love the time with my family. I can be around, goof around my kids and just be silly around them and have a great time. I can have all this awesome night just having a chat with my wife. I can go and just be working on my play, which now speaks towards reconnecting different parts of ourselves that may have been buried and lost. I write in this play. I'm loving it. I'm doing coaching, which, by the way, if you ever need support, I am a coach. I'm a life coach that helps people to really go on a healing journey, that helps them just get massive clarity to figure out what is the next step right now, helping them on their journey. And with that in mind, my friend, I want to ask you right now, that everything that you have been through, please know that healing is living today. That the change that you are making today for your sake, for the sake of your loved ones, for the sake of having a great life, a life that is more calm, that is more purpose, that feels like it's going in the right direction, that is something that you 100% deserve. You deserve to be happy. To be living in this world, not be sleepwalking through life, but living this moment today. That is the life that you truly deserve. To be more present, engage, have more fun, do things that you love with people that you care about the most. So what is the one step? As in my capacity as your coach here, right? As if this was a session that we were having together, I would ask you, What is the one step, one little step, or one huge step, whatever works for you? What is the one step that you can take today towards healing? Is that find or trying a new form of maybe like some kind of creative arts therapy? Maybe it's trying, trauma-informed yoga. Maybe it's trying another type of therapy, whether that's psychodrama or EMDR. Just looking something up, just booking something in. Whether that's doing something to deal with addictions like we all have, especially when we're dealing with trauma. Improving our just eating, being more active. What's the one thing? Maybe go for a walk. Maybe eat a healthier meal today than maybe you would have otherwise. I don't know. But please make that one decision for you. What's going to be one step that takes you further on your journey towards healing? Please do that for yourself. Because no one, my friend, no matter how much people love you and care about you, nobody knows you as well as you do. And that's why no one is going to be more invested. Like I said, no matter how much they care about you, no one is going to be more invested in your happiness, your well-being, and your way of life. As we close off this conversation for this moment today, I want you to go away right now and decide and take one step that is going to help you feel like you're doing something that's helping you heal. That's helping you to be living the life that you're deserving today. My name is Joe Bakhmutsky. I want to thank you for being here, my friend. I want to honor your journey, your feelings, where you're at, and where you're going on your journey towards healing. Healing is living today.